Today we're going to be talking about centric relation bite registrations. Okay, next we're going to take a centric relation record using a leaf gauge and AccuFlow. So just a leaf gauge and just some AccuFlow. All right, so this is a leaf gauge. If you fan it open, you'll see that there's a number of leaves on this gauge. The leaves are 1/10 of a millimeter thick. That would be 0.1 millimeters thick per leaf. So 10 of these together would equal 1 millimeter. And 15 of them would equal 1.5 millimeters. So what you're going to do is you could put several of them together on an angle. Go ahead and close on your back. Try to close onto your back teeth and just hold that for me as if you're trying to bite on your back teeth. And what you do is ask the patient if they can contact any back teeth. So do you feel like you're touching any of your back teeth? Okay, so if they're not touching any of their back teeth and they're biting on this leaf gauge and they kind of put a little bit of pressure, but not a lot, and their mandible is going to slide back into centric relation. And you want to let them sit like this in a relaxed position for 5 minutes or so. That'll deprogram their muscles so that you can get them into centric relation, have them float right back into that retruded position. Okay, so I'm just going to ask my patient how they're feeling. Do you feel like anything has happened? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does it feel like the jaw's sliding back?
Yes.
Okay, so it's been in there 5 minutes now, and the deprogramming has taken place. Now we have a lot of leaves here that I just arbitrarily picked a bunch. Go ahead and open. Stay open, don't touch. I'm going to go ahead and count 10. And I'm going to save those and have her go ahead and close and bite. Do you feel anything touch in the back? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if she's not touching anything in the back, and this is 1 millimeter of clearance up front, she's probably pretty close to touching. What you want to do when you're doing this technique, this is an awesome technique to check something. And what you want to check is open and stay open, please. You want to take one leaf away at a time until the patient can feel something touch in the back. And that very first point of contact that they feel, you're going to ask them where they feel it. And they can use their finger to point left or right side of their mouth. Open. Close. 6. Did you feel something touch? Okay, so she feels something touch. So what we would try to do is to find out exactly which tooth touched. Okay, so my patient feels like something's touching right here in about the middle of her mouth. Go ahead and open and close. Open, close, and there it is right there. So she's touching on her second molar. That's her first point of contact. So later when we mount the models and we mount them using our centric relation record, what should we find when we check the models? We should find that the first point of contact on the models is the exact same tooth that we found in the mouth, and it should be that second molar. If you find that, that's one of the ways to tell whether or not you've mounted your models correctly in centric relation, and your centric relation record was accurate. Okay, open, stay open. Now I don't want her to be biting on any teeth when I take the record, so I'm going to add a couple of leaves back. So I'm going to take maybe 1, 2 leaves and put them back, and close. Do you feel yourself touching anywhere? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So at this point, she's not touching any teeth. And centric relation should always be taken with an open bite registration technique. It should never be taken with any teeth touching. If a tooth is actually touching, you might have a deflection, and the deflection would cause the jaw to, position itself into an entirely different place than you're interested in evaluating when you do any of your occlusal analysis work. So stay like that, and I'm going to take the AccuFlow and I'm going to squirt it on the back teeth on the lower, on both sides, and I'll squirt it all the way from the back tooth up towards about the cuspids, because the leaf gauge is right in where the centrals are. So go ahead and open, stay open, and I'm going to go ahead and squirt onto the back teeth up to the cuspids. And go ahead and close and bite on your back teeth. And they just hold that until it sets. Okay, so we waited about a minute, which is as long as it takes for this material to get hard. I'm just going to check it with my finger. It's nice and hard. Go ahead and open. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove my bite registration left and right. Now you'll notice that I used enough material to get a good registration. But the key in using this kind of a registration is you have to trim the excess back down to where only cuss tips are showing on the bite registration. You don't want any amount of material beyond just the cuss tips only. And what you're going to use to do this with is you're going to go ahead and use a number 15 blade to do the trimming. And then once you have that trimmed back to just the cuss tips, your record is finished.